Hey everybody, happy Thursday. We are actually recording this today, basically 30 minutes before we're posting it, so all this info is up to date today. I wanted to show you a couple of the babies that came out of that Ultramel clutch, like it came out of their eggs fully. 3 of them are still in their eggs, one of them is still kind of in that embryo sac, that little membrane, so I don't know what's going on with him, but they all look okay. That one that was sort of tangled up from the other video looks like it kind of undid the tangle itself. It's still in the egg, but it looks like it's okay. It looks like it's one of the Ultramels, so that's good too. So I'm going to show you the 3 that came out. I want to look around to see if there's any more locks this week. This female, who's due the 30th, looks like she's getting ready to lay right now. So maybe 2 days late, but the other girl's 4 days late. So I'm thinking this is going to be another Ultramel clutch coming up soon here. But first, I wanted to show you 3 of the snakes that I have up for auction. My auctions, if you don't know, on Morph Market, your auctions renew every month unless you pay for extras, which I don't do because I don't think they're worth that. But they are a good tool. They get your products, your snakes, your inventory in front of new people. If you have some lower end stuff that you don't care what it sells for, you're just trying to get rid of it, it's absolutely perfect for that. I had 1 or 2 snakes selling there that I was happy with the price they sold for. Everything else I was not happy with. So I do not sell in there without reserves at this point. And if they got rid of reserves, I would probably never do an auction ever again, because right now the market is not very good for it if you're a seller. Sometimes you can get lucky. I know somebody in my Patreon, and I actually had it happen to one of my listings too. I had a snake listed for a certain price, and I had a Patreon member have their snake listed for a certain price. It didn't sell at that price, but because somebody saw it in an auction, they bid it up and actually sold for more than what it was originally listed for. But that's not a common thing. I still think on average those snakes might be selling for less than what they're worth. But I have a couple snakes that these auctions should be up in about 2 days. At this point, I think I started them yesterday. This boy here, OD, I think it's an OD NG Fire Leo. Excuse me if I don't get the listing right, or the morphs right here on the camera. But he's a big boy. He's over 200 grams. He's a really pretty snake. He'll keep his colors, I think, pretty well into adulthood. So he's up for auction. I believe his reserve was set at 200 or 500. I originally had him listed for 1,000. This guy, this is the Mojave 100% het black xanthic, 50% double het hypopide. His reserve is at 250, which is like originally I had him listed up over $600 or $700. Now what I'm trying to do with him is just help pay for my US ARC membership. I am a silver member, which is $250. So basically, once he sells, that $250 is going to be used to go renew my membership. So it's going to a good cause. It's a good deal for this snake. He has lots of potential. Plus, it gets my membership renewed. So that's him. And the third one here is this male that, again, I'm not too eager to sell. And unfortunately, he's deep in shed. But I just weighed him yesterday. And he is, as you can see, huge. Let me get the light right. He is 400 grams already. So it's hard to say exactly what he is. But he could be a combination of blackhead leopard Mojave, cinnamon, and mahogany. He's het pied and 50% pos double het hypo and black xanthic. He's huge. He's almost, he is 400 grams. He could be breeding size very soon. His reserve is actually at 1,000. So I originally had him listed at 2,000. I'm not in any hurry to move him, but at the right price for somebody. He's really cool looking, really reduced pattern. He's holding the colors that he has very well. Very cool looking snake with a lot of potential. Even if he's just pied, he's going to be a very powerful breeder for somebody. So that's that. Those auctions, I think, have like 48 hours left, roughly. So, all right, no lock in here. So we can kind of bypass that. But anyways, those auctions have 48 hours left. So if you're interested in any of those snakes, again, I think the OD Pied, the orange one, I think the reserve was 500. The Mojave Het Black Xanthic was 250, and that last male at 400 gram one, the reserve was 1,000. And let's see, this guy is not locking yet either with this female. No locks there. Let's see in here. No, this guy locked with this female one time, and he hasn't locked with another snake since. So I don't have a whole lot of high hopes for him going into this year. Breeding wise, nothing here. This is OD Pied Het DG male with a Pied Het DG female. Nothing doing. Nothing here either. This is the Ultramel male Het Pied that I've been kind of breeding to everybody, that we just have that clutch that came out. This is a Pied Het Ultramel, and he doesn't seem to want to have anything to do with her. This, I did have a confirmed lock-in, so this is the Super OD YB Fire Clown Pied male. This is a Pastel Pied Het Clown, and they had 2 locks so far, so that's good. And she's actually, this was one of those instances where she was kind of off food for a little bit, and I started pairing her up. She ate a meal. I started pairing her some more. So she's locking now, and she's eating regularly. So sometimes actually breeding the snake can get them back on food. This girl is starting to ovulate, it looks like. The Clown Pied that was bred to that OD Blade Pied double het MJ Clown male. Let's see. Who else is moving along here? I think this female. She's bred to the same male, but she's also dual sired with that double het Clown Pied male. She's not ovulating yet, but she's getting close. She was at 24 the last time I measured her. And let's see if no shed yet. This lightning pied, this is the second lightning pied female waiting the shed. Should be any day now. And this is my big one that I should have a clutch from her in probably about 10 days or so, hopefully. So she's looking nice and big. I think she laid 6 eggs the first time she laid for me a few years back. So I'm hoping we get the same, if not better. And now let's look at these couple of Ultramels, well, kind of Ultramels that came out. One that's not an Ultramel and 2 that are, I believe. Now these IDs, let me see if I can get this in the light better. These IDs are going to be hard on these Ultramels to begin with, because there's not a whole lot going on. But this is kind of the cool one. Now, I don't know exactly what this is. I tried to do a little ID last night. I think what this is going to end up being is some combination of bamboo, black pastel, firefly. I don't know what else is in this. It's a very, very unique. It kind of looks like a monsoon pattern almost. So I'm not sure exactly what that is, but I think it's probably at least those 4 genes. I mean, there's also leopard, OD, YB, and potentially Enchi in the mix in this pairing. So I don't know if there's something else in there. I don't know. We'll have to see. But this is definitely the coolest looking non-visual Ultramel in the clutch. Just a very unique snake. Very active, too. So these are the two of the Ultramels that popped out. Now, as you can see, you can't really see a whole lot in them. And it actually looks worse in camera than it does in person. I don't think the camera is really adjusting the colors and the contrast very well. I can see a little bit of yellow on their scales. Like on this one especially, you can see right on the back of the head there's some yellow. I can see some faint pattern here and there on them. And there's almost like kind of like a circular... maybe it is coming up a little bit there. I don't know if you can see. Let me get my finger in there and kind of show you. Right there, right above my finger there, there's like a little circle. and there's white around it, which to me kind of looks like it's probably a pied marker, I would guess. So it's kind of hard to see in there, but you can see that. Hopefully the colors on these snakes come in a lot better after the first shed. I think this happened with me. So I hatched this girl out, I think in 2021. And I think this happened with a few of those snakes. So she's an OD, or not an OD, a bamboo pinstripe Ultramel. And as you can see, she's an adult and she is super bright still. I mean, it's not this white on the back isn't that white in person. Like I'm looking at it, it's a very faint yellow. It looks very white on the camera, but it's not. But I think I remember her coming out and almost looking completely white like this, like the other babies that I just showed you when they first came out. So I don't expect them to be that light. I think it's just because of how much, like how the melanin, that the dark coloration isn't there in the Ultramel. I think it just sort of, before their first shed, it just kind of makes a darker color snake. So I think what's going to end up happening is these guys are going to color up after the first shed. It looks like some of that yellow coloration is coming in a little better as they age a little bit. Now, I have a feeling these are going to be very hard to ID, and I think there's one more Ultramel in the incubator, and I think the other two are not Ultramels because it looked like they had a little bit of a darker pigment to them. However, even those ones with darker pigment still were very washed out. Like this one from the get-go, you could tell that it wasn't an Ultramel. You could see all that really crazy pattern on it, even when it was in the egg. The two other ones that have the dark pigmentation, they have like 10% of that amount of pattern on them. You can almost see just like the outside of the ridges on their backs. So I don't know, how washed out those are going to be either. This is also the same male that I bred last year when I got that crazy ivory snake, when technically neither parent was supposed to have yellow belly. That's when I went back and looked at the pairing information from the male, because that male's from Aussie, and I actually asked Aussie, and Aussie said, well, I think he's an Enchi, but then I went back and I got the pairing info, and there's also yellow belly in the mix, and some of the babies did test positive for yellow belly, but they didn't test positive for ivory. And I don't know if that's, maybe there's like a hidden line of yellow belly somewhere, or if there's something funky going on with him. But some of these snakes are just so whacked out and so white that I don't know. There's something weird going on with them, with the genetics in that male. But, I mean, that's an awesome looking snake. I don't know if it's a male or female yet, or if I'm going to end up keeping it. It's going to kind of depend on the gender of all of the Ultramels. Like if all of the Ultramels are females, I'm keeping them all. And then even, I don't know if I would keep any of the non-visuals if that's the case. But, I think hopefully we get some good odds. If we're 3-3, hopefully one or two of these Ultramels are females. This snake is awesome looking either way. So I'm really excited for what is going to turn out with this clutch. So hopefully, I think they're all going to be out of their eggs, hopefully by tomorrow or today. So tomorrow's video, I'll be able to show them all a little better, to show you kind of the variations that I had with all those babies. It's probably a good spot to stop for now. Hopefully she lays her eggs so I can show that in tomorrow as well. And that's it. And those snakes will be shed out by the end of next week. Hopefully by next Friday, I'll be able to show you a post-shed video of all those babies as well. So take a look at those auctions if you're interested in any of those snakes. Basically I have the reserves at half price of what I consider to be their retail prices. So, I mean, they're good deals if you can get them for that, if you hit the reserve price. And we'll see you tomorrow.